Hi, I'm Brent Barson, and welcome to the first Illustrator video tutorial ever made by anyone, ever. I'm going to be showing you how to make a fill pattern in Adobe Illustrator CS3. The first thing you need to realize is that patterns in Illustrator are just a series of rectangles repeated over and over again. And the easiest and simplest way to create a pattern is just to draw some shapes and drag them into the swatches palette. Now, if you don't see the swatches palette, go to Window, Swatches, and select that, and you should see it. So I'm going to drag all of my shapes into the swatches palette. See my little pattern there? And I'm going to move these out of the way and draw a large rectangle, which is currently filled with green, but I'm going to hit my pattern swatch, my new pattern swatch, one time. And I can see that I have a nice green polka dot pattern. See how now what happened here is that Illustrator automatically assumed we wanted the outermost boundary of all these circles to be our rectangle, sort of like that. And it made a pattern with that. And see how there's a lot of space between the shapes over here? You probably want to make a pattern that looks more seamless. If not, you're done with this tutorial. See ya. For the rest of you that are still here, I'm going to show you how to make a tighter pattern. I'm going to draw something here. I'm going to delete these. I'm going to make a small black rectangle. Zoom in here. I'm going to rotate that by holding down Option while I rotate. I'm going to align that there, and I'm going to drag this one up here. There we go, and I'm going to select all that and drag that into my swatches palette. That's all you got to do. I'm going to zoom out by hitting Command 1, and I'm going to draw another large rectangle into which I can put my brand new pattern, and I'm going to click it once in the swatch palette, and you can see that it's a big chunky, what looks like a zipper, pixelated zipper pattern. That's a pretty cool pattern, and this one works well because the pattern tile is actually square already. What's going on there? It was locked. See how it was square already? Now let's say you want to create something that's just a little bit more organic. I'm going to delete that, move that out of the way. Let's make something with less of a grid, something a little more dangerous perhaps. I'm going to introduce you now to what I call the clear square, or the clear rectangle. Now the clear square acts as a crop area for the pattern art we draw. Any art that overlaps or goes outside the clear square will be cut off when it's made into a pattern. So I'm going to draw a square. It's got no fill and no stroke. Right now it's got a black fill, so I'm going to hit none on fill, and it's already got no stroke. So there is our clear square. I'm going to deselect and, hey! What happened to my square? It's invisible! It's clear! How can I ever get it back? Well, it's still there. Just hit Command Y, and you'll go into outline mode, and you'll see it again. Hit Command Y again to get us back to preview mode, and if I drag select, I can see it right there. Now, since our square is clear, but I want to be able to work in preview mode and see our pattern in color, I'm going to make some guides. And the guides I'm going to make will show me exactly where our clear square is. How? By making the guides from the clear square itself. Sorry to yell. Select your clear square, hit Edit, Copy, or Command C, and then go to Edit, Paste in Front, or Command F. We now have a copy of our clear square on top of itself in the exact same place. Now with this duplicate clear square still selected, let's go to View, Guides, Make Guides. And since I have my guides set to be dots, you can see that it has made that copy square into guides. Now you need to make sure that when you make guides, under View, Guides, Make Guides, make sure that Lock Guides is checked. Make sure that little check mark is there. You have to have your guides locked in order to avoid disaster later. Our original clear square is still there, see? We can move it around if we want. Command Z. It's just been sitting there the whole time. So now I'm going to draw some shapes. I'm actually not going to draw them. I've borrowed some shapes from the font called Mortbats, and I've been hiding them over here on the side. I'm going to drag them back onto our screen here and zoom in. And I'm going to enlarge these in relationship to our square a little bit more. And I'm going to say that skull rather is going to overlap here. This lightning bolt is going to overlap this side, and this bat is going to overlap on this side. Okay. Some of them are overlapping the edges. Let's make sure our clear square is sent to back. Okay. Sorry, send to back is object, arrange, send to back. So now that our clear square is sent to back, if I were to make the pattern right now by selecting my clear square, which has been sent to the back, and all my art, and I were to drag it to my swatches palette, it wouldn't look right. Let's see what it looks like. Let's draw a big rectangle. Let's click our pattern. You know, it looks okay and everything, I suppose. But if we zoom in on what we know to be the tile, we'll see that this bat's cut off here, these lightning bolts are cut off here, and these tiny gray skulls are cut off. And it betrays our pattern tile. Although it's pretty obvious that it's a pattern, that's okay. We don't want those to be cut off. The edges don't match up, they don't look good. Let's delete that. And let's see why it's not working. Let's simulate what Illustrator is actually doing by selecting all of our art. I'm going to zoom out a tiny bit. Let's copy the main tile to the right. Copy to the left. Now I'm just holding Shift and Option here to copy this. I'm not holding Shift now, just Option. And I'm lining up the bottom edge of this copied square with the top of my original square. Let's drag that. Holding down Shift Option, snapping the top edge of this one to the bottom of the original. And now I have all four sides of my pattern look complete now. We see that the main tile should have these shapes on both sides of the clear square, so the bat's wing doesn't get cut off and the lightning bolt doesn't cut off and the skull's head won't get cut off. So let's leave these shapes here, these duplicates, and delete everything else. Let's delete that guy, delete that guy, him, and him. Could be a girl bat, I'm not sure. Okay, and with our clear square sent to the back, we are ready to drag all of these elements into our swatch palette and see what happens. Zoom out, draw a large shape into which we will pour our pattern, and it appears as if our pattern has worked. The bat's whole, the skulls are whole, and the lightning bolts are whole. And even though we still have a sort of grid, we can't actually see where the lines are. That is how you make a fill pattern in Adobe Illustrator. See you later.